I've been trying to make my wallet.
Hey player, what you gonna get, huh, for Christmas? Yeah. What you gonna get that boy? Come on.
Hey freaking flyers, welcome back to another video. I am sitting down today to start on my bid. This is the first scheduled bid for 2022. These months just keep rolling around. You all know, if you're new to the channel, I do this series on my channel called Bid With Me. It's where I sit down 2 different times out of the month. First, I sit down and kind of talk through what I'll be bidding for or asking for my schedule for next month. And towards the middle of the month, I want to say, I come back and sit down and share with you the results of like what I got. So it's a bit of what I asked for and then what I got. This first point is me sitting down to start on my bid. It's been a while since I've kind of taken you through the whole process. We have a bunch of new followers on the channel, as well as new people who are getting hired, getting CJO. Shout out to you all, going to training, getting ready to come on the line. So I hope that through these videos over the course of the next year, I can use them as more of like teachable moments and opportunities to like inform and help new people have a better understanding of what flight attendant bidding looks like, especially with the airline that I work for, and what they can expect once they get on the line. Now, I do bid as a line holder. I am no longer on reserve. However, if you're curious about what it was like when I used to bid on reserve, you can just go to this playlist and go all the way to the very beginning of it. And when I started this particular series on the channel, I was still on reserve. So there is a couple of videos of reserve bidding before you get to these videos where I actually straight up bid for my line. Let's hop into it. The funny thing about bidding for the next month is you kind of have to know what's happening. So as a flight attendant, you're always like a month or two ahead. Like you're planning trips and events and things ahead because you kind of got to ask for those things off in advance. It's only the 7th day of December and I'm sitting down thinking about, okay, what do I need off in January? Those of you who follow my Plan With Me series know that every month I save a space in my bullet journal for actual planning for the next month. So what I tend to start off doing is I'll take this blank calendar, which is for the month of January, and I start by filling in all the days I know I need off so that I can plan around those days. So every month, all of our flying for the next month is organized in what's called a bid packet. It consists of every single trip that is built for your base for the following month. My base is on the rather smaller side, so our bid packet is not extremely large. So I still print our bid packet out because I first learned how to read the bid packet on paper. So I'm still comfortable with doing it on paper. Eventually, I would love to transition to just looking at it like digitally, like on a tablet or something. But for right now, I still print it out
at the layover hotel, so.
Not on my own paper. So I print it out at the hotel, and you know, I have it on paper to be able to look at and things like that. So what I tend to do is it has a bunch of information about bidding, so I always go to that and just double check, and then I just pay attention to the things that are important because I want to capture all of those in my journal as well, so that when I'm bidding, I can pay attention to the things like what are the holidays, what other things do I need to observe, what days have I been obligated to do things. All of that information is kind of in the bid packet, as well as information on a snapshot on like what type of trips are there to expect. So I gather all that information and then all of that goes in here as well. Gone in, put everything down, and it's so much easier. 10 out of 10 always recommend building your potential schedule on a physical calendar because there are limitations to like how much we can work. Like at least at my company, after working 6 days, you have to have a full calendar day off when building your schedule. So it's not just 24 hours. So it's easier to pay attention to those little intricacies and legalities when you look at it on an actual calendar, and I'll show you an example of that in a moment. But I've signed into our system. Unfortunately, I can't show you our system. It's against our social media policy. However, it's a computer system. This month I am bidding at number 99, so that gives me a better perspective. Usually I've been around like number 104 out of 2 something. But now we 99 out of 2 something. So, you know, we're just trying to climb our way. I am now about to start going through the whole actual bid packet with all of the trips to start looking for the trips that are most attractive to me. This month, I am mainly looking for, I would say, average credit 3-day trips and high credit 2-day trips. You know, I peeped them. I've seen a couple of them, so I'm gonna go in. What I tend to do is I go through first and I kind of just scratch through all of the trips that start or touch the days that I know I need off. So for January, it's gonna be the 2nd and the 3rd, the 9th and the 10th, the 11th, and then I am on vacation from the 16th to the 22nd. So the system won't assign me something on top of my vacation. I can pick it up later, but the system won't assign anything on my vacation. So I'm going to eliminate all of those trips from the bid packet so that I'm not distracted by them. And then I can go in and really look at what I know I can get. Alright, so once I've gone through and eliminated all the trips, and let me tell you something, it is a process. Now, if I was to do it all electronically in just the system would do it for me. But again, I like the paper and pencil version, so you all know that my preference, 2 and 3-day trips. We like average to high credit, more productive than I would say high quality. Lastly, we're going to always look for trips that report a little bit later in the day, preferably after noon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m. That's my jam. Trips that start at 5 and 6 a.m. It's a no for me. But like I just mentioned, productivity over quality. So if need be, I will sacrifice the quality of starting later to be more productive if it means I start earlier in the day. So I go through and on the calendar, I literally just pencil in the trips and I kind of put all of my options and see how they lay. Again, trying to avoid working more than 6 days in a row and then making sure that I'm legal between trips, because if I end one trip, I have to have 11 hours of rest before I can technically start another trip. So I get all of this done before I begin to even think about putting it into the computer. Once I got all of my trips on paper, yeah, so they're really all weighted on the same days. And there are some days that are just like wide open and I don't have a single trip touching them. Sometimes I'll go back through the bid packet and try to find more trips to touch those days. Usually that means that the trips that touch those days aren't worth as much credit. So I either have to sacrifice credit on trying to find a trip, or what I'll do is I'll just find high hour turns, which are just 1-day pairings, to fill up those days. I prefer not to do that, but you know, if it means getting the hours that we need, that's what I'll do. That's why some months you'll see that I have trips with a few kind of turns sprinkled in there. That's because I do allow the system to put some 1-day trips in there just to fill in the gap to get me to my hour threshold. Now I'm going to put all of this into the computer. Once I do that, I can hit submit on it. The computer will run everything when it closes. It closes in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 days or so from now. And then the schedules will come out sometime next week. I'll be on vacation, so I may or may not come to you all to film my reaction until I get back from vacation. But either way, you will eventually see me come back on here to talk about what I got. So I'll see you all then. Alright you all, welcome back to the other half of this video. So I'm currently on vacation right now, but you all know in flight attendant world, time doesn't wait for anyone. So schedules have come out and I have not looked at mine. There's my group chats is just bing, 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 bing. Like just going off about everyone talking about their schedules and all these other things, what they got and what they didn't get. And I'm just like, I haven't seen mine yet because I wanted to wait and do it on camera. And I was drinking earlier. I ain't drinking no more. I'm down a little bit. So we won't get in here and see what I got. So I just logged in. Let's see. Okay. Wait a minute now. I don't know if January's off to the right kind of start. Let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trips. And amongst our 6 trips, it's 1 turn and 5 multi-day trips. A turn? St. Martin? I don't do international turns. I don't know, it's some good credit though. Wait a minute now, man, it's still on here. So I have a turn, and then I have a 3-day. The 3-day looks really good. I like that 3-day. Then we have more days off, and then we have a fake 3-day because it has a very long layover. And then it's a red-eye back. Oh, then we have our vacation. And then we come back from vacation and we have a 2-day. Okay, we'll take that. And then we have another fake 3-day because it ends in a red eye. Sheesh, that's a 25-hour layover. Okay, we can get into some things. And then we have a 2-day. That's it. January is very light. Like, how many hours do I get? This is a very high hour 2-day though, because this 2-day is worth more credit than the 3-day trip that's before it. Like, that's the kind of flying that we want. Productivity. Okay. All right. So let's look and see where these trips came from, because I can't actually remember at this point what I did for and what I did ask for. So let's look at our little details or whatever. We were given 101 hours, so we got our hours and we got 15 days off. So amazing. Y'all gonna have vacation, so that's mostly that. And then let's see. Our trips came from. Oh my gosh. We got our specific trips that we asked for. Why am I surprised? I know I can hold specific trips. Why am I shocked? 2, so that 3-day was one that we asked for. That 3-day was one that we asked for. And that 3-day was one that we asked for. So we got all the trips that we asked for, and then lines 9, 21, and 33. Okay, so they had to dig pretty deep to make my whole schedule, but you know, that's cool. We got a decent schedule. Now I gotta get rid of this turn that's on New Year's Day because I'm doing New Year's Eve in Houston. And there's no way I can be partying in Houston on New Year's Eve and be ready for work at 10 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day. That just ain't gonna work. So yeah, we're gonna fix that situation. For those of you who are new, we got our schedules, and then at a certain point, our open time board opens where if the reserve levels are at a certain amount, the grid is green, and we can just drop the stuff we don't want. If the reserve levels are not at the level that they need to be for us to just drop stuff that we don't want, then we have to put it on the trade board, which is where you can just say you post your trips and things for other people to either swap with you, like trade them, or for other people to pick it up. So I can just say, hey, I want to get rid of this turn on the 1st, and other people can say like, oh, I'm looking for a turn on the 1st, and they can just take my turn. So yeah, that's how we have the ability to modify our schedule. And then I couldn't bid on top of my vacation, but I do want to look for a 3-day trip for the first 3 days of my vacation days in January as well. So that will be credit on top of the vacation credit that I already have. So, you know, we're all about maximizing our coin. That is the plan. That is the goal. I'm Brandon. I'm a guy who flies, and I will see you all when we go back to work.